Today we're going to be talking about the DJO SP pneumatic walker, SP standing for semi-pneumatic. It is semi-pneumatic because we are able to inflate the air bladders on either side of the ankle to form fit the boot with the various sizes of the leg and ankle. It is comprised of a foam liner. The liner is able to be pulled out completely. The patient simply opens up the Velcro. They sit inside the boot. The Velcro is applied. The top cover is placed on top of the boot, and then the entire thing is fixated with these two Velcro straps, one high, one low. Now, the most important thing about this is fitting it to the patient's foot and lower leg. They come in three sizes, small, medium, and large, and it's very important to fit the appropriate size to the foot and ankle to prevent extraneous movement. The first item is to simply fit the foot inside of the boot. We're going to take a random sized boot and we're going to place the foot deep inside the boot all the way to the back as far as we can go, and you can see that the great toe is over the edge of the boot. The boot is too short. Anytime the toes hang over the edge, in the natural gait, the toes will flex and they will pinch against the edge of the boot, causing irritation and pain to the distal aspect of the toes. Therefore, this boot would not be appropriate. Taking another size boot, again, placing the heel as far back into the boot as we can get, we can see that this boot is very well approximated to the distal aspect of the hallux. We try and get somewhere between 1/4 to 1/2 inch distance between the edge of the boot and the edge of the great toe. Finally, we have our third choice, and with the heel all the way back into the boot, we now have an excessive amount of distance between the edge of the toe and the edge of the boot. This would provide for slippage of the foot inside the boot during wearing, and this would obviously cause problems and pain, discomfort, and most importantly, lack of stabilization inside the boot. This would not be a good choice. The fitting of the boot is quite simple. We've already sized it, and we resize it and ask the patient to bend the knee, placing partial weight bearing on the boot. That'll force the foot deeper inside the boot and compress some of the foamy inner liner. We will utilize the Velcro to cinch down the foot component, cinch down the leg component. We utilize our top shell and utilizing the Velcro straps through the bottom strap first, through the top strap, pulling it tight. Also on the distal one, we go in the outside to the inside. Once that is cinched as tight as possible, once the patient has full weight bearing on this when they stand up, they may find that it sinks in a little bit more. At that point, they can continue to tighten up the braces. The final aspect of this is to take our inflator. Notice that there's an inflate and deflate side. Take the inflate side, pop it into our little aperture, and pump it, which will actually inflate the bladder on the inside of the boot. On the opposite side, you will do the same thing to inflate the opposite side bladder. And once that's done, we now have the two bladders inflated, which will increase the compression and stabilization of the foot and ankle inside the boot. Should the patient want to remove it, we take our little inflator, utilizing the deflate side, insert that into our boot, and that should decompress the bladder and let the air out. We will have to do both sides as they're two separate bladders, two separate functions. Once that is done, patient simply removes the Velcro and the boot can come off.